Weird Way Media.
Hello, twisted humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting? Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia. And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked. Hello, and welcome to your favorite podcast. This is episode 176, and it's a special episode because we have a special guest joining us today. Many of you probably know the podcast Where the Weird Ones Are. And we have host Kevin here with us today. Woo, woo, woo. Hello, Kevin.
Bam, bam, bam. Toot, 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 boop, boop, or however.
I don't
horn
have
goes.
sound effects and I need them, but by heavy demand, I'm not allowed to have them.
Yeah, it would be dangerous.
I can see that. I can see that, actually, to be honest with you. I'd be
Thank you for
dangerous with
being
sound
here.
effects. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
And for those that don't know who Kevin is, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your show.
Oh boy, there's so much to cover. I've lived such a life, it's No, so my name's Kevin, as the ladies have said, a host of Where the Weird Ones Are. It's a conversational based podcast based on guest experiences with paranormal cryptids, spirituality, mental health, as well as conspiracies. Conspiracies I love getting into. One of my favorite conspiracies is flat Earth, not because I believe it, but just because I find it interesting that people do, and that the things that they talk about surrounding it are all interesting. Because there's so many different facets to it. But I guess I'm a bit of an entrepreneur, and nothing has fucking taken off yet, but I'm trying.
Oh,
So
come on. You got your weird sauce, you got your coffee, you're killing it over there.
yeah, so I have I have some weird Java right here.
There you go.
And then I got weird sauce where it's a bunch of different flavors for hot sauce. That was my first sort of side project, and now I have a supplement company that might be getting started. Right now I'm trying it out because I don't want to put anything out that I don't believe in.
I think that's a good thing to have those types of
Yeah.
boundaries, but I think you're killing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
And
also want to get into fucking making documentaries and stuff. Actually, you want to know what I was thinking? So when I had asked you about the voice acting thing, I think I'm gonna make small like horror movie short films.
do it. Sidebar, Sierra, he messaged me about that yesterday and asked if we would be willing to be some characters. And I said, hell
Heck
yeah. Not now.
Definitely.
Sierra would only be able to play sexy Phoebe Buffet, smelly cat
She-
edition. Any 90s kids that watch Friends / know us.
I might be good at playing like a person who got probed by an alien, but like in the mouth. You know what I mean? Like
Whoa.
probed this way. Yeah. Because my voice is just, it's scratchy. This is what happens after you get probed in the mouth.
And that Sierra, you can't say these things on our podcast. We've
Why
talked
not?
about this.
And that's the name of your sex tape.
Jesus.
As we are recording this, Sierra has like an angelic light on her for anyone that watches on YouTube. So who knows? She might get abducted by aliens mid-episode. So only time will tell.
Only
Wouldn't be the
time.
first time I've seen it.
Well, we are glad to have you here, and I am especially excited to talk to you about this conspiracy that I brought to share. Well, I think I know the answer to this, but for our listeners, you believe in aliens?
I do.
Yes, okay. I cannot wait to hear what you think of this case. Before we get into all of that, we like to do fun facts. Kevin, did you bring a fun fact to share?
I did. So male bees die after ejaculating.
I feel like we may have done this before, but it is just as shocking to know it right now. Like, what a life. Can you imagine that's the way
Yeah,
you go out?
yeah, like it's so important that you need to procreate, and you're
Yeah.
like, I can't imagine. So, like, imagine being like a teenager bee, and it's just like always there, and you're like, where is this coming from? I need to like get it released, and then you go, and it's like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm dead. So I
Yeah.
guess like
Oh.
I guess what it happens is so it's honeybees. So what
Oh.
happens is when they it's described as they ejaculate so hard that it eviscerates their abdomen, so they
I
die.
mean,
That's an added fun fact that we didn't know for sure. Wow.
listen,
That might top the octopus. That might top the
that's the
octopus.
way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
it sounds like it doesn't hurt.
I
You know?
mean,
I'm not gonna say
if you're gonna
I-
die,
other
die
things in
happy.
this voice, but exactly.
She already talked about being probed in the mouth, guys. We can't
Yeah.
expect anything else of
Yeah.
her today.
We're not going that far.
I had to bring out Sheldon since it is apparently an alien episode, I'm guessing.
It is.
Oh, sick. I can't wait. My fun fact is also alarming. Speaking of, I tested it with Sierra like 5 seconds ago as we were chatting, and it is that hippopotamuses, their milk that they give to their babies is pink. So that's fun. And they breastfeed underwater.
Is that where they get strawberry milk from?
Sure hope not.
I wonder what
It's like
makes
strawberry.
it pink.
Yeah, I'm not gonna Google any further because I'm afraid of what I'm gonna find, but that's my
Yeah.
fun fact.
That's
What do you
interesting.
got for us, S?
My fun fact is from across the pond, as is my story for today. The idea for the Guinness Book of Records was originated by the Guinness Beer Brewery, as the owners believed that a book of facts to settle arguments between drunk bargoers could help minimize the bar fights. So the first couple hundred copies of the very first ever Guinness Book of Records were supplied for free to bars all across Britain and Ireland.
Wow.
That's where the whole book idea came from.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We're suckers
more
for
you
fun
know.
facts.
Speaking of bars, what are you drinking?
I am drinking an apple cinnamon sangria. I'm sure we've covered similar variations of this in the past, but it is fall after all. So naturally, I had to go with something warm and tasty and ingredients that I had here. So you are going to need the following. Also, sad note, they didn't have any more of the Frankenstein's Bride wine at the liquor store that we
already
had
out?
last week. Yeah.
Gosh.
It's only been a week as of the day we're recording this, but I am drinking the Bodacious Smooth Red that I usually gravitate towards as a replacement. But you're going to need apples, cinnamon sticks, apple cider, Grand Marnier. If you feel so inclined, you can add a little bit of pure maple syrup. I skipped that though because I don't like super sweet drinks. And as a garnish, you can use cinnamon, brown sugar, or you can just have a little cinnamon stick. I have a cinnamon stick somewhere in this wine glass. But it is quite tasty, quite cozy, and I kind of cheated a little bit and I used the powdered apple cider and cooled it, but it still works. But I'm quite enjoying it. Do either of you have anything that you're sipping on? Kevin's got a giant water bottle, I see.
Yeah, I got a lime seltzer water because
Ooh,
I am
nice.
sober for the month of November.
good for you, buddy.
I need to do that. I'm drinking chamomile
show-
tea and honey.
I have a giant
So-
water bottle as well. Yum. I love chamomile.
It's a friend's mug.
I love it. As we made it's perfect for Phoebe today.
Okay, I think it is time we get into today's story. Before we get started, for those of you who don't know Kevin, we are going to play a promo for Where the Weird Ones Are. The setting for today's story is Poland, 1978.
Oh, shit.
During this time, the country was called the Polish People's Republic. They had a communist government, and a lot of things were censored or monitored. I know it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it was definitely not like the world we know today. According to a reference on Wikipedia, quote, the various crimes committed to maintain the PZPR in power, especially after the Cold War intensified, included the harsh treatment of protesters, arrest of opposition leaders, and in extreme cases, executions with an estimated 22,000 people killed or disappeared from 1947 to 1989, end quote.
It's
So this
always
is
1947. It's
this is a
always
scary fucking time.
1947.
1947? You're right. Yeah,
It's
you're right.
it's there's so many conspiracies that tie into that year, and I need to make like a freaking timeline about it because
That
that's
would be a
when
cool bonus episode / like deep dive.
yeah, like
Yeah.
because freaking that's when the Roswell crash was, and then all of a sudden um our technology here in America just advanced out of nowhere, you know? So
It all comes back to aliens.
Always. So this is the kind of place we're dealing with for today's story. Put yourself there.
No, thank you.
But also know that it was pretty normal for these people. They didn't live in obvious fear. Maybe subconsciously, they feared for what could happen to them. But for the most part, this was just life. And the people who were executed probably deserved it, at least in their minds, right? Because that's the way that they were raised to believe. My main point in bringing this up is to get you to understand that an alien encounter is probably not something that someone would fake in this place at this time. I think they'd probably be scared to talk about aliens unless it was truly real. But also, I think it would be hard for them to even know what aliens were. I'm sure they had read sci-fi novels or listened to radio shows or even some sci-fi movies, but not like in real life. The 70s in America was big on aliens. Everyone believed, everyone had experiences. It was huge. So many experiences were going around that like it was hard to tell which one was real and which one was made up for clout. But with the censorship that this communist country had, I don't know if Poland had access to the crazy alien encounters that were being reported in the Americas, which makes this story even weirder. We are going to be in a very small town called Emilcin.
Nailed it.
A man named Jan Valsky, 71 years old, born in 1907, was driving in his horse-drawn buggy when the strange incident occurred. So if you want to go into the drive, the second picture is of Jan. You can see the sweet old man that we're dealing with here.
He's cute. The first photo is terrifying, but you're going to get to that.
We'll get there.
Oh,
This
look
is
at him,
Jan.
guys. He's so sweet.
So he had his horses taking the dirt trail this day instead of the road because they didn't have their shoes on, you know, their horseshoes. And the road would be too rough for the horses' feet. While he was riding along, steering his little buggy with his horses, two short people appeared and hopped into his buggy as if they wanted a ride. Two short people. Okay. It wasn't super strange that two random short people had jumped in. People were nice around here. If they needed a ride, he was more than happy to give them one. You know, this isn't considered rude. If you see an empty buggy, it's no problem to just hop in.
Fair.
I mean, leprechauns and shit, so.
What was strange about this interaction was the people themselves. They weren't normal people. They actually probably weren't people at all. The two short humanoid creatures were about 5 feet tall, which makes it a little worse because I am 5 feet tall. You know what I mean? Like these short things. Okay, calm down.
That's why I said rude.
Yeah. I'm just telling you how he described him.
You're
They
very
were
small.
about 5 feet tall. They had thin cheekbones and slanted eyes. They talked in a strange language that Jan didn't recognize. He assumed that the little men were just foreigners, which also is extremely fucking racist, but whatever. Their clothes and even their skin was also a little strange, though. Their skin had a green tint to it, and their clothes were skin tight and black, almost like
Definitely foreigners.
wetsuits. You want to bring up their picture now?
If this asked me for a ride, I'm sorry. It's a hard pass.
What the fuck?
If somebody
mean-
that looked like this hopped into my horse-drawn carriage, I would be like, I'm so sorry. I'm not expecting some riders and tight deadline to meet. Get out.
I'm so sorry.
I think that it's the covered head like part that is really disturbing me.
Yeah,
but
that's like a full-on wetsuit.
Yeah.
it's something.
Like
they're
James
about to go
Bond
scuba
shit.
diving.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like just walking around in the woods, like, hey, there's a buggy here. Let's get in there. I don't know why
right?
I'm doing this, but
Yeah,
that's what
why
they're
are
That's
you
how
doing.
a
they walk.
robot now, Kevin?
I have no idea.
So there's multiple theories, right, about what aliens could be. Some people believe that aliens might not be in space, they might be in the water, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of that, Kevin? We talk about this all the
Yes.
time. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
because the Admiral Byrd thing.
Yeah. And also, for some reason, they're always around the Great Lakes. There's a lot of water
Yes.
over there.
Yeah.
So that would make sense for them to be wearing a wetsuit. But also, some people theorize that that aliens might just be people from the future.
Mm.
I don't quite get the green skin with that, but tight clothes I still understand because lately, like clothes have been getting tighter and tighter. Like bodysuits are just in. Sometimes I go to the grocery store and I'm like, is that person even wearing clothes? Oh, never mind. It's just a skin colored bodysuit.
Yeah.
Have you seen
That's
this?
always alarming. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
See it.
these
I
could
look
just
like
be people from the future.
a potato in stuffing when I wear a bodysuit, so I don't personally subscribe to those.
Right.
But
If my cheekbones were that thin, though, I would.
maybe,
right?
yeah, maybe we could pull it off.
Yeah.
I will say my clothes have gotten tighter over the years. So
I'm
But
just saying the
I
emo
think it's
kids
all
did
that
it first
protein
and
powder
everybody
and
laughed at
workouts you're
us.
doing.
So fuck y'all.
wait, what? Everybody laughed at you for what? Say that
I
again.
said the emo kids did it first and everybody laughed at us.
Yes. Well, I was like, I don't know what my sister told me that I was a prep, and then I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't even know what that was. And I didn't dress. So what? Looking it up, obviously, I didn't dress like that. I had my ass out, my fucking hat sideways and shit. My shirt was way too fucking big, and I was like, what the
Skater
fuck?
boy vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm here
And
for
I
it.
did skate. I did skate. I wasn't very fucking good at it, but I tried. But I don't know. I think it was the gym. I never felt like comfortable to wear tighter clothes, but I was also friends with emo kids. I was friends with everybody.
Yeah.
The
So
emo kids are the best ones.
Yeah.
the thing about that though is the tight pants, but still having your ass out. That was always weird to me.
Yeah. That's weird.
Defeats the
What
purpose
state are
of
you
wearing
in?
tighter pants.
Yeah.
Kevin, what state are you in?
Maine.
Okay. Is that where you grew up?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
She's analyzing you. I don't know.
That's okay.
Sierra's lived in a lot of states, but Maine is not one of them.
It is not one of them, but I do have, well, I don't know if I would call her a friend. I know someone from Maine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maine's a
Other
cold
than-
state.
Yeah, I think it's really pretty though.
It is pretty. I
Are
will
From
all
agree
of the
with
pictures.
you.
East Coast states cold, like Rhode Island, Maine?
Probably, but Maine's all the way at the top. So it's like Canada cold.
It's
you know?
basically Canada.
It's technically Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, our
Welcome.
border to Canada is wide open. We just have pillars that says United States on one side and Canada on the other.
That's hilarious.
Ever just like walk over there like, ooh, I'm in Canada.
Or
You
like
could.
stand on either side of the bar and take a photo.
Yeah. Well, you could
One
have,
foot in, one foot out.
Okay, so let's get into what happens next. These two beings got into the buggy and kind
Scary
of
wetsuits.
gestured to the place that they wanted to go. Because again, Jan cannot understand what they're saying. He's like, I know 5 languages. This is not one of them. He literally knew 5 languages. I don't know what they are.
That's
but
impressive.
not
though,
this.
in itself.
that is impressive,
Yeah.
especially for the time.
Yes.
Right?
It might have been 3. I might be exaggerating, but it was a
Still.
lot. Okay. It was more than I know.
It was-
More than English is a lot for a horse-drawn carriage moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jan was basically operating as a taxi at this point because these people just hopped in. So he went in the direction that they gestured to.
That's so nice.
He entered into a clearing of the forest and stopped at a hovering object. The object was large and pure white. It was as
Whoa.
long as a bus, so about 16 feet wide, and hovering about 16 feet off the ground. Even though it was pure white, it was still dark. There were no noticeable lights at all on the flying craft, inside or out. When they reached the craft, an elevator-type shaft descended from the bottom of it until it reached the ground. And Jan was gestured to by the beings to follow them onto the elevator. So
No, thank
he
you.
got on it and they went up.
Brave soul.
Mm.
I would have been like,
Very
I don't know
trusting.
what this is.
Very
No,
trusting.
thanks.
He's like, I don't know what you're saying, but sure, I'll do it. You know?
Right? This is how you get probed in the mouth.
On the ship, or whatever you want to call it, there were 2 more beings that looked the same as the others. And now, with a closer look, Jan can see that all of the beings seem to have webbed phalanges. So, fingers, feet, whatever was noticeable, they were webbed.
Did you have to use the word phalanges?
As I
Th-
sound
there-
like Phoebe Buffet, yes, I did.
Touche.
That definitely says coming out of the water to me.
Yeah. On the ship, there were 8 to 10 seats described as benches, but for one person. Nothing on the very bare walls. Everything very minimalistic. Again, no lights up there at all. Just the light from outside shining in. There was also a pile of blackbirds.
Hmm.
Yes, a pile. A pile of birds. They were alive, flapping
Okay.
their wings, wiggling their legs, but not moving away from their stationary pile. Like they were drugged
What
or
the
something.
fuck?
Just
I don't
a
like that.
pile of
Of
birds.
birds. I hate it.
Once Jan was on board, the beings gestured for him to take off his clothes.
And
I
he was
don't-
just like, yes, sure. I would love to do that
I
for
don't
you.
know
Let me.
what gesture it is that someone would do to get me to take off
Just-
my clothes. You know? Like, what is the gesture that means take off your clothes? But
It involves probing, that's for sure.
I can't laugh or I cough.
Look
Okay.
away.
He started with his belt. The beings took the belt from him and examined it in awe. Like they were so confused by this little piece of animal leather that was holding up his pants.
Well, they have a wetsuit, so
Exactly.
they have no need
They're
for
like,
a
what the
belt.
fuck? Why do you need to hold up your pants? Just wear pants that fucking fit. Duh.
Cover your whole
Like,
head.
What? After their initial confusion, they gestured for him to continue undressing until he was completely naked. Then
Interesting.
What kind of episode is this here?
the beings brought small disc-shaped objects over to Jan. He said they resembled saucers, like that you would eat off of, like plates. The beings held the discs just slightly in front of Jan and moved them all the way around his body, as if they were using them as scanners. Like metal detectors?
Yeah, that's what I was
almost.
picturing at like an airport.
Yeah. And then after it was completed, they gestured for Jan to put his clothes back on. That's it. They just wanted to, I don't know, scan him with their plates. Like in the future,
Make sure
do you scan what you
don't have
want
weapons?
to eat with a plate? Like what is this plate doing?
I hope it's not to eat.
It just reminds me of
Sierra.
Did you ever watch Phil of the Future?
Yes.
Okay, when they had like spray bottle food.
Yes, I
it
know
looked
what
like
you're
a paint can. I just feel like if you held your plate, but I don't know. It reminded me of a futuristic way of eating.
I got that. Yeah, that's fair.
Also, why is there a pile of birds?
Why is there a pile of birds?
Do we ever find out?
No, we do not.
Damn it.
I'm gonna think about it all night for the
We
rest
gotta
of the
speculate
night. Probably
wildly.
the rest of the week. And then I'm gonna come up with a bunch of different theories of why they're there.
Okay,
And
well,
then you're
this is
gonna
gonna be
send some voice
terrible.
messages to Sierra and she's gonna love it.
so I heard this one theory, and I feel, I don't know, like it's really good, but also like it's just okay. So someone said the theory was the birds were not drugged, they were dying, right? Because the spaceship hit a bunch of birds. All right. And so they put him in a pile. And this whole time, they were not gesturing for Jan to take off his clothes. They were trying to say, how do we fix the birds? Please help us fix the birds. And then Jan took off his belt, which is made of animal. And they were like, what the fuck is this? We're trying to save these birds, not turn them into belts. Put your clothes back on. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe
that's what happened.
Or they have those little guns that they petrify them and they stay where they put them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're like in a force field kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing.
But why in a pile?
I don't know.
Where else are they going to put them? They're like, let's test these things, but let's throw them over there for now.
In your futuristic food theory, maybe they were like, we can eat these, but not Jan.
Yeah.
Maybe they scanned all of those birds and put them into a pile. Maybe if Jan was edible, he would go in that pile.
He would have gone in the bird pile.
Yeah.
He probably had too much iron in his blood. That's my personal theory,
and I'm really upset about it.
Clothes are back on. Now they're gesturing him to come sit and eat with them.
Oh, the pile of birds.
No. They were eating food that resembled icicles, but they were soft, not crunchy, like an icicle would be.
Oh.
So they're icicles that they would like crunch up and eat, but they didn't crunch. They didn't make a sound.
So they were like,
it sounds like Jello.
We'd like to put this
clear
in
Jello. Yeah, I was picturing a clear dildo.
And then he's just like,
so they're eating dildos.
Well, let me eat it.
Yeah. That's what I was picturing. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was picturing.
I'm glad you were the one to say it and not me.
Yeah. Kind of wish you would have grabbed an actual dildo,
Yeah.
I mean,
back to the story. Jan, icicles, not crunchy. He decided, I don't think I want to eat those, actually. So we don't know what it tasted like because Jan said no. He said no.
I don't blame him, though.
Politely declined. And then he says he bowed. They bowed back. He got on the elevator and left. Yeah, that was him. That was his exit strategy. He's like, okay, thank you, goodbye. Like,
I'd have to call in sick
now.
after that. I'd be like, I've had an experience today. I can't come in tomorrow.
Definitely foreigners.
He went directly home after this to tell his family, including his adult sons. Again, he's 71 years old. This poor man. Imagine this experience
about that. Yeah.
to a 71-year-old. Okay. He gets his adult sons and he's like, you have no idea what I just saw. Please come so I can show you. It was insane.
Yeah.
He takes them all back there and the ship is gone. You can see in the ground where it looks like something was there. You know, the grass has moved around in a certain way, a disturbance. There were little footprints that were clearly not the size of Jan's or anyone else who's around. So these little green men footprints. But there was no evidence of anything.
Huh.
After news of this strange encounter started to spread, it caught the interest of a ufologist named Blania, who came to Emilcin to investigate it. Blania scheduled an appointment for Jan with a psychologist who was able to verify that Jan was of good mental aptitude and that he believed exactly what he was saying. He was not lying about what had happened to him. Blania also went searching for anyone who could verify or validate the incident, and he found someone. A 6-year-old little boy had told his mother that same day that Jan had encountered this, that he saw a bus flying through the air. The mom did not see the bus flying through the air, but it's a strange coincidence that that's the way the boy described it, because that's the same thing Jan said, is it was the size of a bus. This became
sure it wasn't Miss Frizzle, though.
Miss Frizzle, yes, probably. This became a story that was so believed by the people in the area that in 2005, a memorial was erected at the site of the alien abduction. You can bring up the third picture.
That's crazy.
Okay, so this is their statue, and I'm going to tell you what it says in English because it's written in Polish.
Of course, it's a cube.
It says, on 10 May 1978 in Emilcin, a UFO object landed. The truth will astonish us in the future.
Oh.
That's all it says.
It was erected in 2005, you said?
Yes, in 2005. Okay. So what do we think of this story? Is this believable?
Yeah.
I think they were Chinamen.
They could have been. I mean, that's basically what Jan said. I don't know why they had green skin and tight clothes.
I'm thinking.
Also, why did they have a pile of birds?
Yeah.
Well,
and an elevator ship situation.
They were trained assassins. They were wearing wetsuits and flippers and gloves. And they painted their face with the face paint that military people use. And, sometimes it's green,
Yeah.
That's possible. I always think it's aliens.
So it's been about 50 years since this incident, and there are many people who believe that this was all a lie. But actually that it was a prank that poor Jan had no idea about.
Boy.
So Jan has since passed away. He was 71 when this happened.
Right.
But until the day that he died, he believed that everything he saw and did was completely true. However, the claim from another ufologist is that it was a prank. Apparently, there were two competing ufologists who were attempting to get famous at the time in the area. One of them was Blania. The other was a man named Whittled. A month before the Emilcin incident, the two men made a bet. Blania believed in hypnosis and said that he could have someone hypnotize Whittled. Whittled, he didn't necessarily not believe in it, but I guess maybe he thought he was just immune to it. Like, you can't hypnotize me. There's no way. Well, he was not immune. He sat down with a hypnosis, and after he came out of his trance, he remembered some super weird things. And he decided that he needed to get back at Blania. So Whittled, he says, this is all alleged from him. He says that he had someone, or he himself, hypnotized Jan into believing all of the things that he saw and experienced that night. He said that he wanted to make it look like a UFO experience that was believable enough that Blania would want to go investigate, but also that had no evidence left behind, so that Blania would look foolish when he found out that it wasn't true. Whittled claims that the statement from the 6-year-old boy was coerced from Blania to help his narrative when he realized that this was all fake. The problem with Whittled's prank, if it actually was a prank, is that too many people did believe it before he could make Blania look like a fool. So as much as Whittle tried to debunk this alien abduction, it just made Blania famous. He wrote a book about it, as well as having several TV shows about this incident. The police who eventually investigated it said there was no lasting evidence to prove that it happened, and maybe Jan just dreamed it up. Others said maybe he was on drugs and was hallucinating the whole thing. A fucking 71-year-old man, really?
Yeah, right. What does he have to gain from that?
Right.
And I'm 71. I hope I'm still tripping.
I mean, that's true. But 71 in communist Poland in 1978, a little bit harder.
True. Facts.
Some people believe this new theory that it was just a prank, but others truly believe that this man experienced aliens in Poland. What do we think?
His son saw little feet.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
definitely little feet
So
prints.
I think something happened, maybe not to the extent. Maybe it's a little bit of all of it, or maybe the government was in on it.
Maybe. Usually they are.
They usually are.
Maybe
Especially
the
if
pile of birds. Oh my God. Those were the last real birds on Earth. They were sitting in a because birds are not real. Birds are all
none of them,
drones.
they are.
Birds don't exist,
They're
right?
just cameras.
Those were the last real birds alive,
Mm,
and they were collecting them. That's why the aliens were there, to collect the real birds.
right.
I love that theory.
I'm on board with that for
I'm
sure.
upset with it because I love birds and I've watched your CCTV equivalent footage of a bird making a nest inside of your wreath on your door. But
Birds are not real is one of my favorite conspiracy theories.
it is one of my favorite
It's-
conspiracy theories as well.
It's almost as crazy to me as flat Earth. Like,
Yeah. Well, so
seriously.
that with that conspiracy, the only way that I can get behind it is if there's like not that all birds are fake, but there
Yeah.
are
There
some,
probably are.
like a handful.
Pigeons. Like, what the fuck are pigeons?
What the fuck are pigeons?
What the fuck are pigeons?
They're just like,
so much.
Some of them don't even fly. They just walk around. Like, what are they fucking doing? You have wings.
on the sidewalk.
You have wings.
And then they look at
Go.
you and they're like, why are you walking towards me?
Yeah. I don't know
Love
what pigeons are.
Love it.
Yeah, birds are definitely real. Man,
I
that's
love
freaking there's so many
Definitely
avenues you can
chickens.
go with this one.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I've never heard of
Mhm.
this.
Me
Does it
neither.
have
So-
like a name in the media as
the-
what this?
Emilcin Abduction.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I do kind of I lean more towards like some kind of government kind of thing because the memorial has a fucking cube on it.
Oh.
Do you
And-
think, Russia-owned Poland government
Yeah.
would still do the cube thing? Or is the
Mhm.
cube thing more an American government thing?
Well, I don't know because the cube thing is like all over the place.
Okay.
True.
And it's in Egypt. It's Saturn
True.
warship.
Have
It's-
y'all fucking seen the conspiracy that ancient Egypt is actually in America?
No.
Listen,
the fuck?
okay. Honestly,
Bonus
think
conspiracy.
Americans are just really, really fucking narcissistic. But apparently, if you look at the American map before it was developed, it aligns perfectly with all of the ancient Egypt text and stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to deep dive into that. It's on TikTok.
Crazy.
I think I've actually heard that though, but
TikTok is a wild place.
It is.
yeah, Tartaria. I do think there was buildings and stuff here before. So I'm not sure, obviously, but there's so many conspiracies out there. Some of them they're gripping, there's evidence
Yeah.
to what they're saying, but it's hard to like get behind a lot of them, you know what I mean? Like so like the mud floods in Tartaria, you know, the world fairs and stuff, how they built these extravagant buildings within like no time, but and then they tore them down, and then there was like all these city fires and stuff. And it's weird how like you go to your town hall in any town really, like a public building, a library or something. The doors are always like freaking 20 feet tall.
Right.
There's doors and windows that are underground that go
I
to outside.
100% believe in giants.
Yeah.
I took an anthropology class. Sorry, not an anthropology, an archaeology class. I
Hmm.
studied anthropology for my associate's degree, and I was in an archaeology class. And in our book, it showed fucking giants. Like, I don't know why more people don't talk about it. Like, it was our fucking school book, and they were like, yeah, giants used to exist. Like,
Yeah.
that was part of the lesson we learned. Like,
Kevin, you
He-
have to
fucking
do a
wow.
conspiracy round table with like lesser believed conspiracy theories being
yeah,
Yeah.
the
it's
Yeah.
fun.
foundation of it, and have Sierra on. But that was a really good story.
That was a good
Thanks.
story.
I'd never heard it covered on any other podcast, so I'm so happy that you chose to cover it.
Me too. I thought I wasn't gonna have enough info, but
No, it
we're
was
good.
perfect.
We're good.
It was absolutely perfect. And Kevin, we like to end our show, as a listener, you probably already know this, on something positive, something we're looking forward to, something awesome before we roll on out and tell the people where to find you.
Something thankful. Well, I'm thankful for you guys for first of all being great people and
Aw.
having an awesome show that I listen to every week. Just, you know, you gotta stop yelling at your husband every once in a while. Or at least not record it because it scares the shit out of me every time you do.
Should I start adding at the end? Not you, bestie.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm thankful for all the friends that we've made, like the circle that we have. You know,
Absolutely.
everybody's fantastic. This time of the year, you know, I start getting super depressed. My birthday is coming up soon, so I fucking hate my birthday. So I like to do when I start feeling these feelings, I start getting like wicked busy. Like I try to keep myself busy. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to all the things that I have going on. I got the coffee, the hot sauce, the supplements. I'm trying to write a novel. I want to write a freaking
Nice.
screenplay for our voice acting thing that I told you about. I want to get into documentaries. I want to try and make short horror films. So,
Well, you are very
yeah.
talented, so I'm sure all will be great. And as two avid readers over here, you know, you got some book sales with Twisted and Uncorked. So thank you
Nice.
so much, Kevin, for coming on the show, and remind the Twisted Humans where they can find you before we roll on out.
All right. So it is Where the Weird Ones Are. The show is on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube. Um, as far as for finding me, where underscore the weird ones are on Instagram, where the weird ones are on Facebook, and then the website where the weird ones are podcast.com. You can drop a line in there on the contact section. If you have anything that you know you want to talk about, you have stories of your own dealing with paranormal cryptids, mental health, spirituality, or conspiracies, you can email me at where the weird ones are.com at gmail.com. So yeah. Thank you.
Yes. And you can catch me on 3 of Kevin's episodes now. I think one of them was a Patreon only Conspiracy Tuesday. So, but you will have
Oh
to
yeah.
go and check that out. Most recent being the Halloween special if you were like us and not ready to be over Halloween yet.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us today. And Sierra, I will let you no, I always end our episodes. I forgot how to podcast.
Oh shit.
And we will see you guys next week for my unsolved case. And in the meantime,
Keep it twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alicia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.